Joining me now, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Senator, long time no see. It's so good to see you in your.
Thanks for
is that
having me.
Is that a heated vest that you're wearing? I just want to ask
that.
It is
winter. It is winter. I mean, and I've just come in from killing deer for my dinner.
Oh,
and skinned venison, and being the great hunter that I am.
Perfect. I was just wondering, just checking. Senator, I don't know if you caught some of the out of hearing hyperbole today about RFK Jr., but does he have a chance of convincing any of the Democrats who scolded him today?
You know, I had hoped so, but you know what's so disappointing is RFK spent probably 30 years of his life cleaning up the Hudson River. It's a big deal. I mean, he should be part of his, memory and his biography is for having been a great environmentalist, and not one of them complimented him on that. Not one of them gave him a break for spending a lot of his career doing that. Instead, it was sort of, we know the science. Well, not one of them has a degree in science. You know, they've got like public education or public policy. Not one of them is a scientist. And yet they want to say he's not following the science when all he's asked for really is transparency. He just wants the science to show the facts, but we should have it without the presupposition of the conclusion. And that's been the problem with science in recent years is they start with a conclusion, then they look for facts to match the conclusion, and it hasn't been objective.
Well, Senator, Bernie Sanders asked RFK Jr. a question that we hear a lot from progressives. I guess he couldn't come up with a new one. Watch.
Healthcare a human right? Is healthcare a human right?
In the way that free speech is a human right,
yeah.
I would say it's different because with free speech doesn't cost anybody anything, but in healthcare, if you smoke cigarettes for 20 years and you get cancer,
What are your thoughts on his answer there?
Well, you know, I've had this debate with Bernie before. We've been debating this for 10 years. And I try to explain to Bernie there's a difference between a right and an obligation. As a Christian, I have an obligation to help my fellow man and to provide health care. As a physician, I have an obligation through the Hippocratic Oath and also through my use of the hospital. The hospital asked me to treat people for free in the ER in exchange for the privilege of being a doctor at that hospital. But those are obligations. But a right implies that someone can knock on my door and say, hey, I want free cataract surgery because I have a right to health care. No one really has a right to someone else's service. And he doesn't quite understand this, and they misinterpret it to mean that we're somehow mean or selfish. No, I've traveled the world helping people and removing cataracts for free, but I do it as something I voluntarily, and I feel good about because I chose to do it. But if someone made me do it, then it wouldn't be charity anymore, and it wouldn't be of any kind of source of or resource for the soul. It just wouldn't be the same. And he doesn't understand the difference between charity and taxing or coercing somebody to do something.
Being up there now with the Republicans in the majority, can you just take us behind the scenes a little bit, Senator, on what the mood is like with your colleagues across the aisle? Are they in need of help? I mean, should we send fruit baskets? Only organic, of course.
Well, you mentioned in your opening about depression. Oh, my goodness. There's some serious depression. There's some scowls. There's some petulance. They're all so upset that they're protesting against Department of Interior, the Secretary of Department of Interior. They're going to stop them, or Commerce. No, they're just being petulant, and they have been so defeated. But the one thing I've noticed in the last 100 executive orders that have come out, I don't see a lot of people protesting in Boston when they arrest murderers, rapists, thugs, assailants, and say you're leaving the country and put them on a plane. The whole thing with Colombia, having the president there back down and take the people that he was obligated to take by treaty, was a huge victory, not only for our country, but for the rule of law. So I see so many victories coming down that I think the Democrats are going to need some kind of intervention. And I'm willing to sit with them and hold hands and try to make them feel better about their losses. But the American people, I think, are with us.
Yeah, you help remove cataracts. You do that out of your Christian charity, and you can help remove depression and anxiety. Is there nothing you won't volunteer to do out of the goodness of your heart, Senator? It's great to see you.
I am up for Humanitarian of the Year, so
True.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But the one thing that I would say in conclusion about RFK is that The biggest problem we face in our country is too much food, and it is obesity, and it is diabetes. You said 38 million people with diabetes in your opening. That's 10% of our country. That's an enormous number, and that's all curable. Weight loss cures 70 to 80% of type 2 diabetes. Amazing, and somebody needs to talk about it.
Oh, you bet. Senator, as always, thank you very much.